Well, let's learn about the minimax and maximin principle, which we use to find out the value of the game or the saddle point. That is what we say in case of PO strategies. So for that, we have to follow some certain rules that we need to follow actually to determine the value of the game, or we can say the saddle point or the point of equilibrium for a certain game theory metrics that we have. All right, given the payoffs for different two different players. So the first rule that we need to remember is given the payoff like that. That means for player A and player B, well, these are the two different strategies, A1 and A2, and for B, B1, B2, and B3 strategies. So what we need to do is we need to select the smallest element in a row. That means we need to from this particular row we need to find out the smallest element. uh, so what is the smallest element here? So minus 2, 2 and minus 1. So ultimately it is minus 2 here. So that means the smallest element. Alright. Now again the second step is, or the second rule, select the largest element in a column. For a column, so it has to be the largest element. Now for a row, it has to be the smallest element, right? So for the column, what we have here is minus 1 and 6. So which is the largest element here? So it is 6, right? So similarly, for this row again, so which is the smallest element here? Minus 6, 4 and 6. Out of that, minus 6, 4 and 6. So smallest element that we have here is minus 6, right? Now again from this column, 2, 4, the for a column, so it has to be the largest element, right? So column means largest. For a row means it has to be the smallest, right? So for this column, 2 and 4, so the largest one is 4. And now again for this third payoff or B3 strategy for player B, so which is the smallest, I mean the biggest one here, minus 2 or minus 6, so it is minus 2. Now see, uh, from the third rule what we can say, the intersection point or the common element is the saddle point, or which will give us the value of the game, right? So the if we look at the different numbers from here, from the rows and the columns that the and the elements that we have selected, this minus 2 and minus 2 becomes a common number here from both the smallest elements in the row and the largest elements in the column. So ultimately, when that payoff, or I mean that strategy of that the payoff which falls into that strategy, all right, which falls into that strategy which is common, okay, or the common payoff from both the strategies of player 1 and player 2, okay, so that common element will give us, or the common payoff will give us the value of the game, right? So the common element here is nothing but minus 2, right? Minus 2 here in the largest element among the columns, all right, and here from the smallest elements in the from the column we have here is minus 2 and 6. And so ultimately there is also one another way of finding this. Actually we can say like the largest element among the smallest element is minus 2, and here the smallest element among the largest elements, so that is minus 2. So in a way there are two different ways, and so through which we can identify that. Anyway, just you have to remember is the smallest elements from the row, right? That is minus 2. First row it is minus 2, second row it is minus 6. For a row it has to be the smallest element. Now again for a column, right, minus 1 and minus 6, or minus 1 and 6, it has to be the largest element, right? So it is 6, 2 and 4. The biggest one or the largest one, it is 4, right? Now minus 2 and minus 6, the largest one is minus 2, of course, so it is minus 2. Now this common intersection point, here it comes out to be minus 2, or the other way around, like I told you, no? Choosing the largest one among the smallest elements, or choosing the smallest among these biggest elements, right? So they will intersect at this point here, which is minus 2, and that will give us the value of the game, and that is minus 2. So this is how we can find out the value of a game with for a 2% zero sum game which deals with pure strategies. Anyway, so this is how we can find out the value of the game or the equilibrium point for a 2% zero sum game, right? Always remember these three different steps. That means smallest among the rows, largest among the columns, and the intersection point. Okay, or the other way. Just now I told you about. Okay, the uh, smallest or the largest among the smallest and the smallest among the largest. So they will intersect at a point, and that point of intersection gives us the value of the game or gives us the point of equilibrium. So it is minus 2. So basically what it will mean here, like player A will be losing by minus 2 amount and player B will be winning. Since it is minus, player A will be losing by minus 2. Well, of course, it will be positive. So 2 is hidden here. So ultimately, player B will be winning by 2 units or 2 rupees. Just like, I mean, like any other units that you want to portray like or you want to reveal it like. So ultimately, this will give us the final value of the game for a 2% zero sum. Well, that's it again, guys. Thank you.